Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We've got the Showboats and the Panthers. Week 4 of the UFL kicks off. Sorry, I'm on wait. We were a few minutes into the game. Panthers had a punt blocked by the Showboats, and Showboats with the ball on the 20. I'll get the scoreboard right in a second. They're going to hand this off, and no gain. It's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Showboats. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Let me get this correct. Scoreless game so far. About 5 minutes in. So it's 3rd and about 11 here for the Panthers, for the Showboats. Purry in shotgun back to his right. Purry gonna look to throw. Panthers bring 5. Purry takes a shot at the end zone. It is incomplete. We got a flag down. It's gonna be interference, and that is gonna give the Showboats an automatic first down. They're looking for the league's leading receiver in Jonathan Adams. He's interfered with. And a penalty there going against the Panthers. Going to put the Showboats with the ball, I think, on the 2 because the foul occurred in the end zone, but I'm not sure the exact rule. Alright, Showboats or Panthers? There's the poll. Be sure to vote on that. Let me also get this ball marker for the Showboats. Just going to put the ball on the 6-yard line. Here's a run play. Going to try to bounce outside. Turns the corner. Gets a block on the outside. Forced to bounce at the 3. And it brings up 2nd and goal. So it is a 15-yard penalty in the UFL. Pass interference. So put the ball on the 6. So 2nd and goal. Showboats with a new play caller this game. Head coach Ken Wigginhunt stepped down earlier this week. He was the play caller. So they hired a new offensive coordinator. Hurry, the former Panther, hands off straight ahead. Powers into the end zone for a touchdown. Didn't look like he had much space. But Deneric Prince, number 34, with a touchdown there for the Showboats. He gets the game's first points, and they capitalize off the blocked punt. It's a 3-yard touchdown run for Prince, and the Showboats with the game's first points. The Showboats, they capitalize off the special teams mistake for the Panthers. And here are the Showboats going to go for 2 here from the 5-yard line, where they're 1 for 3 on the season. Purry looks to throw, has time. Purry back to the end zone, too high, incomplete. So the 2-point try, no good. But the Showboats, with the game's first points, they take the lead 6-0. And a good start to this game for the Showboats. They take advantage off the bad snap on the punt and get in the end zone for the game's first points. Hold on 1 second, let me pull up the stats. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Showboats and Panthers tonight to kick off week 4 in the UFL. I don't know how it's week 4 already. Be sure to vote in the poll for who you guys think will win. I've got the Panthers. I forgot what score I said. Let me check that in a second. What? Why does it say the game has ended? Fox always has some kind of problems with their website. There's 8:37 to go in the first quarter. Showboats up 6-0 after a 3-yard touchdown run from Deneric Prince. Alright, I don't know what this is doing. It gave me problems last week with not being able to play the game. Now, it says the game has ended. Hold on 1 second. It's so weird. Fox used to play so smoothly, and now it doesn't run well at all. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Trying to get this game back on. I just had it, and then I lost connection to the internet, and now it says your program has ended. But be sure to vote in the poll for who you guys think will win. When we check my score prediction for this game, I got the Panthers 18-12. Alright, I got it. They're back from commercial. The kick is away here for the Showboats, and the Panthers will return this from the 10. Here is Ross on the return. Ross going to try to get to the outside, cut inside, and ball came out at the end. Let's see, no signal. Showboats say it's their ball. I don't know if he was down first. Looks like it will stay with the Panthers. So the Panthers avoid another special teams mistake. And avoid giving the ball to the Showboats with great starting field position. But the Panthers take over for their second possession. Yeah, that ball is definitely out before he's on the ground. Ross was the special teams player of the week in the UFL last week with 250 return yards. Well, that is a great punch out. But the Panthers keep possession, 1st and 10 at their own 29. Perkins, quick throw over the middle that is incomplete. Looking for Turner over the middle, number 17. And it brings up 2nd and 10. Bryce Perkins was the UFL Offensive Player of the Week last week. 2 rushing touchdowns, also a passing touchdown. And definitely should be the Panthers' starting quarterback. Although, Mike Nolan loves Danny Etling for some reason. Although, Etling is now on IR with a injury. Hopefully, Etling has a fast recovery. 2nd and 10 from their own 29. Perkins in the pistol. Here's the handoff to Nate McCrary up the middle. Not much, maybe a yard to the 30. Or sorry, this is not McCrary. This is number 20. McCrary is actually a little banged up coming to this game, so probably will see a limited role. I'm not sure who this guy is, number 20. But it's 3rd and 9 here for the Panthers. They're 4th in the UFL, converting on 44% of their third downs. Empty backfield here for Bryce Perkins. Got to be aware of his ability as a runner. Perkins to throw. Perkins has time, throws to the outside. That is caught, but short of the sticks. And it's going to gain 7. They needed 9. And it's going to be another 4th down here for the Panthers, and they'll be forced to punt. So it's 4th and 2. Panthers going to make sure they don't have a disaster on the punt like they had last time. The snap was way wide. And then they ended up not being able to really get a kickoff. So 4th and 2. Let's see if the operation goes smoother here for the Panthers. This time the snap is good. The punt is away. And this is, oh, that's a good kick. Drives him back to the 5-yard line. And on the return here, trying to look for space. And he'll return it to the 15. That was a really nice punt. Partially makes up for that disaster on the first time they had the punt. But it's still Showboats, a 6-0 Showboats lead, 6:34 to go in the first quarter. And the Showboats going to get the ball back. Hold on one second. Let me just pull up the stats for the game. Be sure to vote on the poll if you guys have not already done so. So the Showboats, this can be their third possession. Their first one, they went with Troy Williams at quarterback. The second one, they went with E.J. Perry, who's actually the former Michigan Panther. Oh, by the way, I just said that was the Panthers' second possession. That was their third. No. Hold on. No, that was their second. Sorry, I messed up counting. This website does it weird. Why does the UFL website go oldest at the top? No other play-by-play site does that. It's always oldest at the bottom. But the Showboats, let's see who comes back in at quarterback. Troy Williams started. He's 0 for 1. And then E.J. Perry was in last drive. Which makes no sense, because what's the point of releasing a team depth chart then? Because every team releases the depth chart before the game starts it's 2 days before the game starts. So, for example, this week, or this game, the depth chart was released on Wednesday. And the Showboats, they listed E.J. Perry as the starter, yet started Troy Williams, which was the exact same thing the Panthers did last week, listing Bryce Perkins as the starter, yet starting Danny Etling. Alright, so they're back from commercial. Showboats offense on the field for their third possession here. Jim Turner, the interim head coach for the Showboats. He's their offensive line coach. He replaces Wisenhunt, who stepped down on Monday or Tuesday. It's Troy Williams back in the game at quarterback. He'll hand off to the right side, and he's going nowhere. Trying to bounce outside. He's going to lose yardage. It's going to be a loss of 4 for the Showboats, which is not a good idea to do that. But it's Troy Williams back in at quarterback. Interesting. They're going to, I guess, alternate drives, which really never works. Then you can't really let the offense get into a rhythm. So 2nd and 14 from the 11. Williams looks to throw over the middle, that is caught for a gain of about 4. And that brings up 3rd and 10. So 3rd and 10, 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Showboats up 6-0, looking for their first win of the season. Williams in shotgun back to his left. Look to throw, pressured. They're going to set up the screen. And again, a loss of yards here for the Showboats. A great possession for the Panthers defense. A tackle for loss by number 11, White. A really good possession, and the Panthers going to force a quick 3-and-out. White does a really nice job reading that screen and then making a tackle in space on Jacob Caboti. So 4th and 14, the Showboats will be forced to punt it away. Panthers can get the ball for their third possession. We got a flag down on the punt. This is not the best kick. It is fair caught at the 49, but he gets hit, and that's going to draw a flag. So we got 2 flags here on the play. One at the snap. The other one is going to be fair catch interference. So let's see what these penalties are. So it's definitely going to be a hit on the returner who called fair catch. I don't know what the first one is. It's going to be offsetting penalties. You can hear them talking. So it's offsides against the Panthers and interference against the Showboats. The fouls will offset, and they're going to replay 4th down. That's probably a good thing for the Showboats because the punt wasn't very good. When you're talking about the Panthers getting the ball inside Showboats territory, now you've got a chance to really have a better kick here. So it's 4th and 14, and we'll try this again. 4:17 to go in the first quarter. So the punt is away, and oh wow, that's a huge punt. It drives him back to the 30-yard line where Turner will start his return. And Turner cuts upfield, breaking tackles. It's a good return to the 47. So it's a huge punt, but a 17-yard return. And still, the Panthers going to get good starting field position with 4:03 to go in the first quarter. That was a much better punt for the Showboats, although that time they couldn't tackle on the return. So we wait for them to come back from commercial. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Happy Friday to you as well. We'll wait for them to come back from commercial. Panthers get the ball with great starting field position. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. My favorite UFL team, I don't really have a UFL team that I root for. I just root for the league as a whole. But what I'm really hoping for is eventually they'll expand and bring back the New Jersey Generals from the USFL a few years ago. So I'm kind of a neutral fan in the UFL, hoping they bring back the Generals one day. How about you? Who's your team? All right, so they're back from commercial. From the 47, Perkins hands off. Here is Nate McCrary for a gain of 7 to the right side. Nice run there. So it's 2nd and 3. Year for the defenders just started watching them this year. Well, they've gotten off to a great start. Yeah, the defenders, they've looked like probably the best team in the league so far, especially that defense. Picked a good time to start watching them. The handoff for no gain. McCrary this time stopped the line of scrimmage, brings up 3rd and 3. I also think this is a statement game for the Showboats. Yeah, definitely need to get a win. I mean, they're 0-3, just lost to who a lot of people thought were the worst team in the league in the Roughnecks. Yeah, they definitely need to do something. I mean, it hasn't been great for them so far. Yeah, definitely need to do something in this game. 3rd and 3 here for the Panthers from the Showboats 46. Perkins looks to throw. Will throw the outside that is caught by McCrary for a first down. McCrary to the 40-yard line. And he moves the sticks. I feel like the record isn't a good representation of the team, however. Yeah, I would agree. I definitely think this is a team that is better than 0-3. They've been in a lot of close games. Like, even the one they lost 26-12 to the Panthers in week 1, that was still a pretty close game until the end. Yeah, they're definitely better than the record suggests, but gotta find a way to actually finish off some of those games. 1st and 10 here from the 41. Perkins will look to throw. Perkins gonna step up in the pocket and run. Perkins gets a block, and he will slide after a gain of 8. Perkins, a big game on the ground last week. Nice scramble there. The Showboats, they're also in a tough spot here because they obviously they lost head coach Ken Wisenhunt earlier this week. He stepped down as the head coach. Now they're playing with an interim head coach, which probably isn't going to be the easiest thing for a team that's already struggling. But I definitely do think, like you said, they're better than the record. 2nd and 2. Perkins hands off, and here's a cut up the middle for about 5 yards. Do you know why coaches are stepping down / leaving so much? Um, I think it's more just a coincidence. I don't really think it's anything they have like against the league. Because Reggie Barlow took the Tennessee State job. And I mean, college, you can wait till after the season, but with how college is, with the transfer portal and stuff, and spring practice, kind of got to get there as soon as possible. I'll get back to that in a second. So 44 seconds left in the first half. Perkins on the option, rolls to his right. Perkins throws downfield. Oh, nice throw and catch to Turner for a gain of 15. Great job staying in bounds. And a first down for the Panthers. That's a really nice throw and catch. Now, it looked like it could have been a disaster for the Panthers. Potential tackle for loss, but instead a really nice gain of about 15 yards. Wow, that's a really nice catch along the sideline. Here's a handoff right side. Up the middle, break a tackle, touchdown, Panthers. Great drive there for the Panthers. Toa Taua, number 35, with the touchdown. And the Panthers with their first points today. And they tied this game at 6. Great run there. Toa Taua signed before last week's game. Had a nice game last week. Was with the Panthers in training camp. And has another touchdown this week. But I'll get back to what I was saying about the coaches stepping down now after this commercial. Or during this commercial. After the touchdown. The Panthers are going to go for 1 to try to take a 7-6 lead. Set up with the ball on the 1-yard line, or 2-yard line, sorry. The Panthers are 4 of 6 on 1-point attempts so far. They're going to hand this off. Taua is in. Panthers take the lead 7-6 with 13 seconds left in the first quarter. But a great drive there for the Panthers. They're into the end zone. Lead this one 7-6 with 13 seconds left in the opening quarter. You took the Showboats plus 7.5 and over 35.5. Let's see. I've got it 18-12. Is that 35? That obviously the Showboats would cover there. Let's see. Why can't I do math right now? That's 30, right? No. I don't know. I can't do math. Why's my computer frozen? $18 and 12 is 30. Okay, yeah, I confused myself. Yeah, going back to the coaches leaving real quick, I think it's more just a coincidence. Although, it is a little interesting with a few of them. But, yeah, Barlow took the other job, and then Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, decided to follow him. He left early, although I know there's other coaches on the staff who are going to leave, but they're waiting till after the season. And then the other coaches, Ken Wisenhunt, I don't really know the whole situation, but it seems to be a personal issue. And with Wade Phillips, it is, I believe, a health problem. He missed last week's game with an illness. I think he's still sick. So I think that's what's going on there. I don't really think it's too big of a deal. The only thing I find interesting is AJ Smith stepping down as the Brahmas offensive coordinator because he didn't like the way Wade Phillips wanted him to run the offense. That's the only one that is really more interesting, but I think the others, I wouldn't really think too much of it. I think we got a high-scoring game with the Panthers rolling with Bryce and the Showboats wanting a win. I definitely hope so. The Panthers, they played a really good game against the Brahmas. That was probably the best game of the year so far. And I would definitely not mind seeing that game again. That's what the UFL needs, some more higher scoring games. Because, yeah, the defenses are great, but for like casual fans who maybe are trying to get into the UFL but haven't, they're probably going to want to see some more offense. So I think that'd be great. They kick off your bounce at the 20, and it's fielded on the bounce to the return to the 20. Not a great return there for the Showboats. Yeah, last week's games, they were really good. They need to fire that Roughnecks coach. Yeah, that CJ Johnson has no idea what he's doing half the time. He is definitely not. If they continue to struggle and they finish the season with, I don't know, maybe less than 3 or less wins, I would be shocked if he's back next year. EJ Purry back into the game at quarterbacks. They continue with their alternating quarterback system. And he'll hand off for no gain. And that also brings us to the end of the first quarter. 7-6. Panthers with the Showboats. At the end of the first quarter, Showboats with the ball. And the Panthers up 7-6, end of one. That Battlehawks Defenders game was amazing. Yeah, that was a good game as well. Both Sunday games were really good. Um, and that quarterback got laid out by the Brahmas defender. He was on the ground just flying there. Yeah. Yeah, that was a huge hit that Danny Etling took. But the Showboats, they're going to continue to alternate quarterbacks, looks like. Troy Williams, EJ Perry, then Troy Williams again. Now Perry's back in. I don't really like it. I prefer to just stick with one. Huge hit, definitely late, but clean, yeah. I mean, if he wasn't like a quarterback right there, that's a clean hit. Yeah, that was huge. But yeah, the Showboats, I guess they're going to continue to alternate quarterbacks. I don't really like it, but I guess that's what they're going to do. I mean, also, they've attempted like 3 passes. Sorry, they've attempted 4 passes. So, I mean, I don't really. They're going to have to throw the ball more if they want to actually figure out what quarterback they want to roll with. All right, hold on one second. Just reorganize my tabs. I had them all messed up. All right. Uh, of all the QB or of the QBs, the Showboats need to step up. They really need to start winning. Yeah, they need somebody to step up a quarterback. It looked like EJ Perry was going to be that guy. He played the entire game against DC. He started last week's game, but then he got benched after he threw 2 picks. 2nd and 10, Perry underneath, nearly deflected, but it's caught for a gain of 6 here. Brings up 3rd down. I'll throw the ball. Put me out there, coach. Yeah, really. It's a 3rd and 4 here for the Showboats. Perry in shotgun back to his left. Look to throw. Perry pressure throws down. Field that is behind his receiver and incomplete. Brings up 4th and 4. We got a flag that comes down. It's roughing the passer. So it's going to extend the drive for the Showboats. Let's see this one. Oh, that's the penalty? I guess it's because he hit him up high, but I don't like that call. I mean, he's hitting him like as he releases the ball. I don't really like that one. Here's a jet sweep to the left side, and got 2 yards there for the Showboats. Um, reaction to roughing the passer tells you it's a bad call. Yeah, I mean it's not terrible. Like I understand where they're coming from, but I don't really like the rule. Like obviously you don't want guys getting hit in the head like that, but if it's not huge contact like that, it's not a huge problem. I don't think. Hurry here on the read option, going to gain about 3, and it brings up 3rd and 5. Let the boys play. Yeah, I agree. What do you think about the super challenges? I love them. I think you should be able to challenge anything. Like if the refs miss a call or call a bad penalty, I think it should be able to be challenged. I think you want to have the right call most times or all the time. 3rd and 5 here for the Showboats. Purry throwing quickly that is incomplete through the hands of Adams, and it's 4th down. That's a big missed opportunity there. I don't know if he would have gotten the 1st down, but would have gotten very close to it. Yeah, that's one that's got to be caught. So 4th and 5, the Showboats will send on the punt unit to send it away. So the punt is away here for the Showboats. This is a shorter kick. It is fair caught at the 22, and that is where Michigan will take over, up by 1, with 12:19 to go in the first half. I thought they were super challenging really bad things last week. That's it's not necessarily against the challenge that is the bad part, but yeah, I definitely think coaches sometimes just look for something to challenge and just kind of make something up that might not be the biggest penalty, or they just challenge bad things. But I think the idea of the super challenge is good, but I do think the coaches can get better in when and how to use them. Oh, the Battlehawks defensive coordinator, he's really good. The Battlehawks, they've gone off to a great start. I mean, obviously they did lose last week, but I still think they're one of the best teams in the UFL. Although they got a big game this week against the Renegades because the winner of that game is going to be 3-1, and the loser of that game it's going to be 2-2 very quickly. We're going to go from 2-0 to 2-0 to 2-2 in a XFL conference. It's probably pretty tough to make the playoffs. Yeah, I agree. It seems a couple of times the super challenges were just hoping for a bailout, and it just wasn't there. Yeah, exactly. Like the one I think of from last week, the Showboats won at the end of the game. I don't know if you saw that one. The Showboats they went for 2 to try to get the win as opposed to 1 to tie, which I agree with. If you got to run a scrimmage play as opposed to just kick an extra point, I think I'd probably go for the win as opposed to go for the tie. But they went for 2 to try to go for the win, and it was incomplete. They ended up yeah, oh, you did see it, the holding call. Yeah, I just don't really think there was much there. Like you said, it looked like they were just kind of get bailed out by it. But obviously it didn't happen. Also, in that situation, I think they should have saved the timeout for if they had converted the 4th and 12 as opposed to just trying to maybe get a call right there. So the Panthers take over with the ball. Last drive, 7 plays, 53 yards, ended in a 14-yard touchdown run. Their first 2 drives. They had just 16 yards on 6 plays. Went 3 and out, back-to-back drives. So from the 22, Perkins and shotgun back to his right. Perkins pressured, steps up in the pocket. Perkins is going to break a sack, and now Perkins is met in the backfield, and he's going to dive back to the line of scrimmage. A flag comes down, but no gain for Perkins if the play stands. So let's see what the penalty is here. We got holding against the Panthers, and that'll back them up and make it 1st and 20. There needs to be a challenge for how long you can use the super challenge because they already had the ball set up for 4th and 12, ready to go. The last 2 minutes of that game took forever. Yeah, I can definitely understand having a timer like that. Kind of got to make a decision fairly quick. Like in baseball, you can challenge it. It's got to be, I think you have 20 or 30 seconds. I can definitely get behind that. Because yeah, if it's something like that where it takes a while, you got to figure out who you want on the field, and you have time, then they could take a while. I mean, technically, they do have a limited time with the play clock before you run the next play, but sometimes that can be a little too long, like in that situation. So 1st and 20, after the holding call, Perkins and shotgun back to his left. Perkins throws a swing pass to the outside, and no space there for the Panther. He's going to break a tackle and cut up field for a gain of about 6. Real nice job to make something out of nothing, but there was not much on that swing pass. So it's 2nd and 14. 11 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Panthers up 1. So Perkins and shotgun back to his left. Here comes a blitz. Perkins has time, steps up in the pocket. Now time runs out. Perkins rolling to his right, escapes the sack, and he's going to try to see what he can get as a runner, and he'll dive forward to the 25. And again, a nice job by Bryce Perkins to escape the pocket, escape a sack, and just get what he can get. It's going to be 3rd and 7. So 7 yards on the scramble. I think the refs are doing a great job as a whole in this league. Yeah, I agree. The officiating has been pretty good, although it looks like there might have been a missed holding call right there. Definitely better than the NFL, that's for sure. Perkins to throw here on 3rd down, given time. Lots of it. Perkins now throws underneath. That is going to be caught by Turner. Nice move after the catch. Turner 1st down. It's going to be 9 yards on 3rd and 7. And the Panthers move the sticks. Perkins had all kind of time. And he's able to find Turner for 1st down. We got an injured player down on the field for the Showboats. I don't know who it is, but whoever it is, hopefully he's okay. And you like the announcers, especially when Joel Quiet is doing it. Yeah, he's good. Joe Tessitore is really good as well. I don't know who this injured player is, but whoever it is, hopefully he's okay. Hold on 1 second. Um, don't mind seeing Aaron Dolan. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to that too much. I mean, it's a cool idea, but I don't love the way they use it. You're a fan of the player interviews and sideline raw emotion for players after play. It seems more personal. You like it. Yeah, I really like what the UFL does, where it's like you can really get a feel for everything like that. You can feel the emotion from the players or the coaches when they're mic'd up on the sideline, and the refs as well, where it's like you can hear their thought process through a penalty, or if they're gonna call one for whatever reason, you can know it. I really like the transparency of the league. One of the best parts about it, I would say. So they're back from commercial after the injury. Maybe the transparency keeps everyone in check. It definitely could. Definitely a possibility of that. First and 10 here from the 34. Perkins hands off. Here's Nate McCrary, and he's not going to find much space. Maybe a yard as he falls forward. But it looks like it's going to be just a yard from McCrary, and it'll bring up 2nd and 9. 9:35 to go in the first half. So from the 35, it's 2nd and 9. Perkins and shotgun, McCrary to his right. Off play action, Perkins, the design roll to his right. Perkins has time, and now time runs out. Perkins is going to keep it himself for about a yard. Brings up 3rd and 8. So 3rd and 8 here for the Panthers. Perkins and shotgun back to his left. I'm not sure who that is. I don't think that's McCrary. Probably one of the other two backs. Perkins throws over the middle. That is dropped. Oh, wow. That was a great throw from Perkins right on the money, but it's dropped and incomplete. That was a big missed opportunity there for the Panthers. Jalen Moore hit him right in the hands. That was a great throw from Bryce Perkins, too. Tight window, but he got it there. Pressure gets there on the punt, but it's not blocked. And this is a good punt. Drives him back to the 8-yard line. And on the return, broken tackle, and then taken down at the 14-yard line. And it is going to be Troy Williams back on the field for the Showboats. They're going to continue to alternate the drives for the quarterbacks. How do you say that? I know who you're talking about. I don't know how to say his name. Yeah, the other back for the Panthers. He had a big game last week, if I recall correctly. I definitely think we'll see more of him because McCrary's banged up, and the Panthers, they've always been a team to really rotate their backs, not just stick with one guy. What do you think is holding the UFL back from more viewers apart from marketing? I really think that's a huge part of it. Is marketing. It can be a lot better. Now, I think it's more marketing in the cities for attendance wise, as opposed to the viewership. But I mean, I just think it needs to be. I don't know. It's hard to say because they can definitely market the league a lot better. I mean, I definitely think the quality of football can be a little bit better, especially offensively for the first couple weeks. But this is also something we see because there's not really a long training camp or a preseason or anything like that. So it takes the offenses a couple weeks to get going. Like we saw last week with we saw DC put up 27. We saw both teams in the Panthers and Brahmas game get up to 20, at least 23. So I definitely think that could do it. But I think something like that. We get a challenge here. The Showboats wanted a face mask on the return, and they did get a face mask on the return. So after the challenge, ball's on the 29. Troy Williams off play action throws to the outside. That is caught, forced to bounds for a gain of 5. Isaiah Henney makes the catch. I've been telling people it's not like the NFL at all. It's not bad or worse. It's just different. Yeah, I mean, it's still really good football. With I think some people just think spring football and they're like, oh, those guys aren't good enough to be in the NFL. I'm not going to watch that. I think it's more of a if people were to give it a try, they would like it. It's just people unwilling to give it a try. Here's a quick throw over the middle for a gain of about 8 and a first down for the Showboats. Those are D1 athletes out there still. Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously you do have some guys who come from D2 or D3 playing in the UFL, but a lot of these guys, they were, I mean, or not a lot of them, but some of these guys, they're former NFL draft picks. Like take somebody like DeAndre Baker, a former first round pick in the NFL. He's on the Defenders. There's a bunch of other players that football fans would know from college or something like that. Yeah, these players are still really good. So I definitely think the UFL will continue to grow over time, as long as it stays around, which I would expect it to. For the first down, a gain of a yard. 2nd and 9 here for the Showboats. Empty backfield for Troy Williams from the 43. Williams to throw. Has time. Williams going to take a shot deep down the field. It is incomplete. And it brings up 3rd and 9. .550 to go in the first half. So it's 3rd and 9 from the 43. Again, they empty the backfield, go 5 wide. They'll just get the snap off. Williams pressure throws high, incomplete. Brings up 4th and 9. And the Panthers defense going to force a punt. That throw from Troy Williams just a little bit too high. And it brings up 4th down. So the Panthers defense forces another punt. And the punt is away. Turner signals for a fair catch at the 11-yard line. And that is where the Panthers will start this drive. 4:52 to go in the first half. Backed up fairly deep inside their own territory. Lots of players in the UFL from big conferences like the Big Ten and the SEC. That is true. Just goes to show how competitive the NFL is and who makes it and who doesn't. Yeah, I mean, not everyone can have a roster spot. So you've got guys can go to the UFL, get more experience, still be getting better at the sport. Yeah, I mean, these are still really good players. It's not like me and you can go out there and dominate the UFL. These are still really good players. You might get absolutely cooked in the UFL. Yeah, me too. So we wait for them to come back from commercial. Panthers with the ball on their own 11-yard line. After another punt for the Showboats. Panthers defense playing pretty well so far. I guess you could also say the Showboats offense not playing too well. I mean, the Showboats, they have punted every time except the one where they scored a touchdown, but they had a short field there and got the ball in the 20. How many total yards did Showboats have? Let's see. 25. And 20 of them came on that one drive. Yeah, it hasn't been too great for them. 1st and 10 here for the Panthers. Here's a handoff to Tawa. Up the middle for about 3 yards from the 11 to the 14. Second and 7 from the 14. Perkins in shotgun. Tawa motions out of the backfield. Perkins throws over the middle. That is going to be caught for a 1st down. Gain of 10. And a nice throw and catch. As the Panthers move the sticks. Showboats' defense can't score for the offense. Yeah, I know. But defense might be able to move the ball as effectively as the offense, considering neither of them can really move the ball. So 1st and 10 from the 24. Perkins, off play fake, rolls right. Perkins going to keep it himself. And Perkins still in bounds. Bryce Perkins tight ropes the sideline. A gain of about 20 on the scramble. Nice job, Bryce Perkins, and a first down for the Panthers. We saw Manny Wilkins do that. Looked like he was going to head out of bounds and stay, or thought he stayed in bounds. He ended up stepping out. Let's see. Perkins right here. No, he stays in bounds the whole time. Nice run for Perkins before he shoved out of bounds. So from the 44, Perkins and shotgun back to his right. Perkins hands off. Tawa breaks the tackle. Has space now. Tawa almost able to break free. But as it is, he'll gain 9 and a nice run there. Panthers offense moving the ball here on this drive. So 2nd and 1. We'll keep this in the ground. Tawa this time not much. We'll dive ahead for about a yard. But the spot's going to come in about half a yard short of the line to gain. So it's going to be 3rd and about half a yard. The Panthers don't have to run a play before the 2-minute warning, and it doesn't look like they will. No. So we reached the 2-minute warning. Here in the first half, Panthers up 7-6 and putting together a good drive here. For only 5 plays, 42 yards, that has taken 2:25 off the clock. Got the ball on the Showboats 47, although have a 3rd and 1. Panthers outgaining the Showboats 135-25. And actually 95 of their 120 or 35 yards have come on their touchdown drive and this drive for the Panthers. But their offense definitely starting to play better after a slow start. Back-to-back 3-and-outs. Then they went touchdown, then they punted, but now another good drive here. So still waiting for them to come back from commercial at the 2-minute warning. Panthers with the ball. Pretty sure both teams still have all 3 timeouts as well. Hold on 1 second. Alright, now they're back from commercial. It's a 7-6 Panthers lead at the 2-minute warning. Third and 1 here for the Panthers on the Showboat 47. Perkins turns around and hands off to Tawa straight ahead for a first down. Tawa gains 5 and moves the sticks for the Panthers. Minute 57 to go. Each team does still have all 3 timeouts. Wow, great job with the offensive line in that play. I think I could have gotten a first down. Great blocking up front. Panthers, 90 rushing yards compared to the 10 rushing yards for the Showboats. By the way, Showboats forced to call a timeout for an injured player. I didn't even know there was an injury. But whoever it is, hopefully he's okay. First and 10 from the 41. Perkins in shotgun back to his left. Here's Tawa again, right side, and Tawa breaking tackles, still on his feet. And Tawa gains 9. Gonna be 2nd and 1. Panthers are really running the ball effectively on this drive. Tawa already over 50 yards in this first half. Second and short, they'll keep this in the ground. This time, Tawa not much, but he will get enough for a first down. Looks like. Minute 20 to go in the first half. It is first down, Panthers. Now the clock continues to run. Remember, the clock temporarily stops on first downs until the ball is spotted, just like college. Panthers not really in a hurry. Clock down to a minute 5. From the Showboats 31, Perkins in shotgun back to his left. Play clock at 3. Perkins, off play action, throws downfield as caught by Turner. Shoestring tackle made after a gain of 12. Another first down for the Panthers. They're really moving the ball here on this drive. So 47 seconds left. Clock is stopped. And we got a timeout called by the Panthers. That's their first. Each team with 2 timeouts left. So 47 seconds left in the first half. The Panthers' current drive, it's a good one. 9 plays, 70 yards. They're taking 4:05 off the clock. Looking to get in the end zone here before halftime. Bryce Perkins, he's played really well. He's 7 of 10 for 63 yards. Also has 5 carries for 39 yards. So from the Showboats 19, Perkins in shotgun with the back to his right. They're going to keep this in the ground up the middle. Lots of space. Breaking a tackle. Touchdown, Panthers. Nate McCrary, a 19-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers extend their lead. What a run there for Nate McCrary. Great blocking up front once again for the Panthers. And they extend their lead. Now 13-6. Great run there for McCrary. Touchdown, Panthers. Again, the Panthers going to line up to go for 1 after the touchdown. That has been what they've done so far this season. A lot of teams go for 2. Panthers going for 1. We've got a couple of tight ends in the game here. We're going to bring a receiver. That's Samson Nakua in motion. Perkins throws to the outside. Wide open receiver. Nakua makes the catch, and the conversion is good. 14-6, Panthers lead. Really nice play there on the conversion. That was a little RPO there for Bryce Perkins. Panthers, they do that a lot. It's like a triple option. They can hand it off inside. Perkins can run it himself. or he can throw it. You see them do that extremely often. But a nice play design there on the conversion. Akua wide open. And it's 14-6, Panthers lead. Now, the Showboats, they do have time to potentially put a drive together before halftime. So the Panthers kick off, and this one's going to be returned from the 11. On the return, here's Isaiah Henney, and it's a nice return to the 33. And let's see what these Showboats can do here before halftime. I definitely think they should try to put a drive together. They got 35 seconds and 2 timeouts to try to do something. And the QB rotation will continue for the Panthers. Is now E.J. Purry comes back in at quarterback. Purry throwing quickly, that is completed for a first down, gain of 11. And the clock going to temporarily stop with 31 seconds left. Clock now continues to run. Purry to throw here, 25 seconds left. Purry throwing outside, that is caught by Adams for a first down. A gain of 15, and Adams gets the ball to the Panthers 40. Two really nice plays there for the Showboats. And if I'm the Showboats, I think I call a timeout right here. They're actually going to spike it with 17 seconds left. That works too. But two nice plays to start this drive for Memphis. Couple nice pass plays. They go back to the kickoff. This is really interesting. B.T. Potter, the kicker, lays the ball down sideways when he kicks off. Here's another throw out to Jonathan Adams, and he's going to be able to get out of bounds after a pickup of 6. Stops the clock with 12 seconds to go. I mean, the Showboats, they can use the whole field. They've got 2 timeouts and only 12 seconds. You don't really have to be using the sidelines right here. Third and 3. They get the ball on the 34-yard line. Probably nearing field goal range. But prior to this third down play, we got a timeout call by the Panthers. That's their second. So it's third and 3, 12 seconds left. E.J. Purry is 4 of 7 for 39 yards in his first game back in Michigan after being with them for the past couple years. Now with the Showboats. Showboats are over 4 on third down. This is a third and 3 from the 34. Purry going to take a shot down the sideline. That is incomplete. The receiver didn't see the ball. And it's fourth down. So let's see. Fourth and 3, 6 seconds left. The Showboats probably going to send it on the field goal unit. Yeah, here's Matt Coughlin. season long of 50. This is going to be another pretty long field goal. But to try to cut the lead to 5, this is going to be a 52-yarder from the right hash. And prior to this, we got a timeout taken by Mike Nolan and the Panthers. That's their third and final. Panthers linebacker Javin White is out for the remainder of this game with a fractured forearm. Hopefully, he can have a speedy recovery. The career long for Coughlin here is 57. His season long is 52, or season long is 50. This one's from 52. So 4th and 3. 6 seconds left, probably the final play of the first half. The kick is up on the way to online, and the kick is good. I couldn't tell if the ball went through because the camera was too high. But a 52-yard field goal there for the Showboats. Oh, that hit the net. That was good by plenty. They just had the camera too high. You couldn't see it. But a 52-yard field goal. The Panthers now up by 5. It's 14-9. We got 2 seconds left in the first half. Probably just enough time for a kickoff, and that's it. So far, results in the poll, 67% of you guys said the Panthers will win, 33% have said the Showboats. Be sure to vote if you have not already done so. So we got 2 seconds left in the first half. Just enough time for the kickoff. So if you're the Showboats, just going to make sure you tackle here. Devin Ross on the return, and he's taken down at the 28, and that brings us to halftime. So the Panthers lead the Showboats 14-9. At the half, they'll also get the ball to start the second half. But the Showboats with a big field goal right there before halftime makes it a 5-point game. And, I mean, their offense looked pretty good on that drive. They completed a couple of quick passes. E.J. Curry, accurate on that drive. Maybe they can keep him in for longer than one drive. Because what they've been doing, I don't really like this alternating drives with the quarterback. It just, I really don't think it helps your offense. If you want to go alternate, make it be because the offense isn't doing well. You're not giving the offense a chance to do well. Where it's because you're alternating quarterbacks every other drive. But I'm going to go take a quick break as I do at halftime for every game I stream. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. Thank you guys for staying with me as I took a quick break. But the Panthers lead 14-9 at the half and get the ball to start the second half. And they're in a pretty good spot here. They ran the ball really effectively in the first half, especially the final drive of the first half. Panthers up by 5 and outgaining the Showboats 182-58, although the Showboats very lucky to still be in this game. Just a 5-point game. So very much anyone's game, although the Panthers definitely have looked like the better team, but Showboats lucky to only be down 5 with how bad their offense was in the first half. Two quarterbacks equals no quarterbacks. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the case for the the Showboats right now. You take a look at their two quarterbacks. EJ Perry is 4 of 8 for 39 yards. Troy Williams is 4 of 7 for 13 yards. Neither quarterback really. It's frustrating to watch. Not even as a Showboats fan, because I'm not a Showboats fan. I don't really have a team in the UFL. If you guys didn't know that, but the it's just frustrating to watch because it really holds back the offense because you're not really having success throwing the ball, and if you were, you wouldn't be alternating quarterbacks, and you're not running the ball effectively. It's tough to watch. But as far as an updated score prediction goes, I originally said 18-12 Panthers. I'm still going to stick with the Panthers. I think it's going to be a little bit higher than I originally thought. Let's see. I'll give the Panthers another touchdown. I'll give them another 10 points. We'll say 24. And for the Showboats, let's give them a touchdown. No conversion. And we'll give them a field goal. So that's what? 10-9? So we'll go 24-18. Updated score prediction. As far as stats from the first half go, for the Showboats, just went over their passing stats. Perry 39 yards. Williams 13 yards. As a team, they have 52 yards or 8 of 15 passing. Showboats, they have not run the ball well at all. They've got 9 carries for 10 yards and a touchdown as a team. That's 1.1 yards a carry. Prince has 4 carries for 5 yards. Perry has a carry for 3. Stove with 1 for 2. And Cabote 3 carries for 0 yards. Then receiving for the Showboats, Jonathan Adams 2 catches, 21 yards, also dropped 1. He's been targeted 4 times. Pierce with 2 catches for 20 yards. Last year 1 for 6. Isaiah Henney has 1 catch, 5 yards, and D. Anderson 1 for 4. Jacob Cabote also has 1 catch for a loss of 4 yards. And Prince and Stove have both been targeted, but did not come away with the catch. Then for the Panthers, Bryce Perkins played a nice first half. 7 of 10, 62 yards. And he's also got 39 rushing yards on 5 carries. And the Panthers on the ground in that first half, 19 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's 6.3 yards a carry. They've run the ball really effectively. Led by Toa Tawa, he's got 8 carries for 48 yards and a touchdown. Nate McCrary has 5 for 32 and a touchdown. And I'm not sure how to say this guy's name. Shirden? Shridden? He's got a carry for a yard. Yeah, that sounds right. Shridden. No, that's putting an R in the wrong spot. I don't know. I'm really bad at saying names. You guys haven't figured that out yet. Then receiving for the Panthers, Malik Turner, their leading receiver, with 3 catches for 34 yards. Then that other running back who I can't figure out how to say his name. Sheridan, maybe? Yeah, that seems right. Sheridan. He's got two catches for 13 yards. Nate McCrary's got a catch for 5, and tight end Jalen Windermeyer has 1 catch for 10 yards. Then team stats from the first half: the Panthers outgaining the Showboats 182 to 58. They're averaging 6.2 yards per play compared to the Showboats at 2.3. The Panthers the better team through the air and on the ground, outpassing the Showboats 62 to 48, outrushing the Showboats 120 to 10. Neither team has turned the ball over, and both teams are perfect in the red zone, scoring touchdown each time they've been there. But the Showboats, they're very lucky to still be in this game, and it's really just because of that blocked punt they had early in the game. If they did not block that punt, they're not scoring a touchdown. You're talking about 14-3, which, I mean, still is not impossible, but you're talking about a 11-point game versus the 5-point game we have now. But, I mean, I would like to see the Showboats try to stick with E.J. Perry in the first couple of drives of the second half. Because, I mean, he did look pretty good at the end of the half. I mean, it's really the only time they really consistently threw the ball. It's really the only time they sustained a drive, so it's hard to say. But I would like to see them stick with one quarterback. I think it should be E.J. Perry for at least the first couple of drives of the second half, because I do think he was the slightly better quarterback in the first half, although it's hard to really base it off something when neither quarterback was really in there for that long. But we'll have to see what the Showboats end up doing. The second half should start within the next couple of minutes. It's been at halftime for about 12 minutes. Be sure to vote on the poll if you guys have not already done so. So far, 71% of you guys said the Panthers will win. 29% have said the Showboats. The Showboats, they just struggle to run the ball against the Panthers. They have 10 yards on 9 carries today. Their season low was 69 rushing yards, which came week 1, also against the Panthers. But I definitely think that could really help the offense. I'm thinking about the Showboats, so I start to type Showboats instead of quarter 3. But yeah, if you're the Showboats, I think you need to get the pass game going. Just stick with one quarterback. Whether it's Williams or Purry, I don't really think makes a huge difference. But stick with one quarterback and also see if you can establish the run. You did throw more passes in the first half than run the ball, but I mean, it's also really hard to say because they just didn't sustain any drives. So the second half kicks off. The Panthers will get the ball, and this one will be returned from the 8-yard line. Here is Devin Ross on the return across the 30, and Ross with space to the 34. A nice return there for Devin Ross. Gives the Panthers pretty good field position here to start the second half. Let's see if the Panthers can continue to run the ball effectively. From the Panthers, I think I come out in the second half and try to really dominate on the ground. Start the half the same way you ended the first half. From the 34, they will go to the ground, and number 20, that is... How do I say his name? I have no idea. Sheridan? Yeah, Sheridan, I think his name is. He'll gain a yard. If I'm saying that, sorry, but I just have no idea how to say the guy's name. 2nd and 9. Perkins in shotgun. Perkins throws quickly, that is caught for about 6 yards. Taken down right there. Jalen Moore with his first catch on that one. 3rd and 3. Empty backfield for Bryce Perkins. They motion the back out wide. Perkins throws quickly. Flag comes out at the snap. It's caught by Malik Turner for a first down. Turner gains 5 if it stands. A flag is down. And it's not going to stand. We got an illegal formation against the Panthers. That'll back them up 5. And wipe out the first down. So instead, make it 3rd and 8. So 3rd and 9. Perkins and shotgun back to his right. Play clock at 5. Showboats bring 5. Perkins pressured. Perkins gonna float one way down the field that is incomplete. Perkins just overthrew Malik Turner, who had a step. But it's 4th and 9. That could have been a big play for the Panthers. Malik Turner had a step on the defense. But it just falls incomplete. So the Panthers punted away. Henny feels this just inside the 10. Makes a man miss. Henny still going. Gonna cut to the outside. Henny with lots of space. Isaiah Henny down the sideline. Cuts back inside. Gets a block. Inside Panthers territory. Henny with a huge return to the 39-yard line. Isaiah Henny, a huge return. Maybe that can jumpstart this Showboats offense. What a return for Isaiah Henny. It was a 57-yard punt, but an insane return by Isaiah Henny. What a return. One of the best punt returners in the UFL. Puts the ball on the Panthers 39. Purry to the outside on the option. Spins inside, and EJ Purry will gain 4. Actually, Spot's going to come in and give him 5. Maybe this can jumpstart this Showboats offense. I like the fact they got Purry in there still. I definitely think this could be something positive. Getting the quarterback involved in the run game is something I don't mind either. I like to see that from the Panthers. Or sorry, the Showboats. Both quarterbacks, Purry and Williams, can both run. So to get them involved wouldn't be a bad idea. 2nd and 5. Purry to throw. Purry pocket collapsing. And Purry gonna scramble again. And again, he'll dive forward for first down. Ball came out at the end. But Purry is able to get it back. So a first down there for the Showboats. Back-to-back runs for EJ Purry. The first one by design. Second one a scramble. But so far, 11 yards. And a first down for the Panthers. Although that ball did come out before Purry was on the ground, but he's able to get it back. So 1st and 10 from the 27. Here's Cabote right side. He's got space. Jacob Cabote thrown down at the 19. There's 8 yards on the ground. That's almost doubling their total rushing yards from the first half. They had 10 rushing yards in the first half. Cabote gained 8 there on that one. So far in the second half, Showboats gotten off to a great start. 2nd and 2. Purry throwing quickly to the outside. That is, we're going to say a catch. Hold on, I'm not sure. Panthers came up with the ball. They think it's intercepted. It ended up with Arnold Tarpley. Oh, it's intercepted. Wow, the ruling on the field is an interception. Wow. It's Panthers football. Tarpley comes away with it. He practically takes the ball out of the hand of the receiver. Just when it looked like the Showboats were starting to get something going. An interception, or some kind of turnover. I don't know if that's going to be rolled a pick or a fumble. But either way, it's a turnover. Wow. That might be the worst possible timing for the Showboats. I mean, they were just starting to move the ball, too. They had a big return. They forced a 3-and-out. And they had a huge punt return from Isaiah Henney. Then 3 nice plays to start the drive, and then interception. But the interception is going to stand. The ball never hits the ground. But right when it looked like the Showboats were starting to build some momentum, it's gone. Just like that. So we wait for them to come back from commercial. So far, results in the poll, 56% of guys said the Panthers will win, 44% have said the Showboats. Be sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. They go back to this. It's going to be ruled an interception because Stove never quite had possession. But it doesn't matter what it is. It's Panther football. And it's a first down for the Panthers at their own 11-yard line. Huge takeaway by their defense. We go to the ground here. Nate McCrary breaks a tackle. McCrary turns the corner, gains 8. Up to the 19-yard line. And a nice start to the drive for the Panthers. Was the first turnover of the game, and it's a big one. Right when it looked like the Showboats might be starting to build some momentum. It's 9th turnover of the year for the Showboats. By far most in the league. Perkins on the option pump fakes and spins for first down. There's another one of the Panthers' triple options where they can hand it off, Perkins can keep it, or throw it. He thought about throwing it, but decided to keep it himself and got about 4 for a first down. So 1st and 10 from the 23. Perkins and shotgun, McCrary to his left. Perkins looks to throw, gonna take a shot down the sideline. Wide open receiver. That is the tight end. I don't know who that is or what his name is, but that's their tight end for a huge gain. Looks like the Showboats just lose him. It's tight end Cole Hikatuni. Or Hikatini. Did he have 2 feet down? I think so. So from the 42, Perkins off play action. Here's another triple option. Perkins can throw this, and he'll just throw this away. They go back to this catch. The announcer's saying he might not have had control of the ball, but too late now. Perkins to throw on 2nd and 10. Has time. Perkins now going to step up in the pocket and run. And Perkins is taken down after a gain of just 2. Nice tackle there by Steel Chambers, former Ohio State linebacker. So 3rd and 8. So 3rd and 8 here for the Panthers. Perkins will look to throw. Pressured. Perkins breaks his sack, sets his feet, and now Perkins throws underneath. That is incomplete. Trying to find Samson Nakua, but it's broken up. Brings up 4th down. Perkins, nice job just to be able to get a throw off there. Probably should have been sacked, but his throw ended up in low, and Nakua unable to come away with the catch. But the Showboats, they brought pressure. Perkins did a nice job being able to buy enough time, but just not able to deliver an accurate throw. So the Panthers will be forced to punt it away. The Showboats defense forced another punt. I guess that's something positive. The punt is away. Here's Henny after his big return from the 19. And Henny this time not as much. He'll get to the 6-yard line. But the Showboats defense, they get another stop. And again, we'll have to see if the offense can do something. I hope they put EJ Perry back in. There's no way you can pin that interception on him. That's a pass that's a completion about 99 of it 100 times. But yeah, I would like to see Perry back in. Get a couple of nice drives on the. He had a couple of nice throws on the drive right before halftime. He had a couple of nice runs on that play or that drive before the interception. I would like to see them stick with Perry, but I don't know if they will. So we wait for them to come back from commercial. The Showboats defense forces back-to-back punts to start this second half of that drive. The Panthers, they did move the ball. 6 plays, 33 yards for 4 minutes before the drive stalled. But the last 2 drives for the Showboats, a combined 10 plays for 42 yards, which is their best 2 drives of the game. Actually, they did go 5 plays, 26 yards in the early second quarter, but then they punted, and then they did have that 4-play touchdown. So I guess that's that, but hasn't been good. Troy Williams is back in the game at quarterback. I don't really like this. I would stick with Perry. But Williams now into the game at running back or quarterback, sorry. And they'll start off. Here's Prince right side. Prince with space. Cuts up the middle, and Deneric Prince gonna gain 9. It's a nice run to start this drive. We saw a nice run from, I believe, Jacob Caboti it was last drive. Here's Williams on the option. He'll cut to the outside. He'll have a first down, and Troy Williams will get out of bounds after a gain of 4. They can pretty much do the same things with both quarterbacks, with what they can do as a runner. Williams a little bit faster than EJ Perry, although I do think Perry's the better passer. But you can run quarterback runs with both guys. Here they'll come under center. Williams from the 39. Gonna hand off Prince left side. And Prince another good run. He gains 5 before he's stripped up by Kai Nakua. If the Showboats can start to run the ball a little bit, that can be big for them getting back in this game. I'm not saying they're out of the game, but or maybe getting some points. So 2nd and 5. Williams in shotgun back to his right. Williams going to look to throw over the middle that is incomplete off the hands of the intended receiver. And incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 5. Looking for D. Anderson. So it's a 3rd and 5 here for the Showboats. They're still yet to convert on 3rd down. They're 0 for 5. Got to be aware of Williams as a runner. 3rd and 5 from the 44. Williams looks to throw. They got a spy on him. Williams steps up in the pocket, spins away, but he's then taken down for a sack. The struggles on 3rd down continue for the Showboats. Brings up 4th down. The Panthers, they brought 4, plus had a spy on Troy Williams. It was a great idea, because he was going to try to run there, but Frank Ginda forced him to spin, which slows him down and allows other defenders to catch up. And again, the Showboats forced to punt. So 4th and 8. The Showboats will punt it away. We've seen their punter as much as we've seen their offense today. Malik Turner from the 24. Turner is not going to gain much. He's thrown down at the 24 on the return. So that is where the Panthers will take over. .348 to go in the 3rd quarter. Panthers up 14-9. No scoring yet in this 3rd quarter. That drive for the Showboats, 5 plays, 15 yards. That is their fifth punt of the day. They've had just 2 drives go longer than 20 yards. That's not great. So we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Just thought of something. I wonder if there's a theme of quarterbacks for the Showboats. I mean, their drives haven't been good, but their best drives, let's see who's in at quarterback. Their 4-play touchdown, where they went 20 yards, was E.J. Perry. Then they went 26 yards, which was E.J. Perry. 33 yards, where they kicked a field goal, was E.J. Perry. And then before the interception on that drive was E.J. Perry. I definitely think he's been the better quarterback in this game. I don't really think either quarterback's played that well, but from what we've seen from E.J. Perry, I think he's been the better quarterback. The offense has moved the ball more effectively with him in there. Again, I would still stick with E.J. Perry for the rest of this game. Or even if it's not the rest of the game, the next 2 or 3 drives, if I was the Showboats. Tonight, the Panthers with 135 yards on the ground. That is a season high. The Panthers with the ball here, 1st and 10 on their own 25 after the punt. Perkins in the pistol. Will hand off here. Tawa right side. And Tawa is dropped after gain of a yard. Tawa's had a nice game so far. Got 50 yards and a touchdown. He stays in the game at running back here. I don't think we saw him at all last drive. Here's a 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's a touch pass forward to Jalen Moore. Moore gets a block, and Jalen Moore going to gain 7 on the catch and run. So it's 3rd and 3 here for the Panthers. Another opportunity for the Showboats defense to get off the field. They've been pretty good on 3rd downs, especially here in the second half. Perkins and shotgun back to his right. It's 3rd and 3. Perkins looks to throw against a 4-man rush. Perkins going to take a shot down the field that is incomplete. And another stop gotten by this Showboats defense. The Showboats defense keeping them in this game. So 4th and 3. Here's another punt for the Panthers. This is a big kick. It will skip to Isaiah Henney, and he's going to let it go out of bounds. Which is actually a good thing for the Showboats. Because I'm pretty sure in the UFL the ball goes like the 25 if it goes out of bounds to avoid punts being kicked out of bounds. I don't really like the rule. I know a lot of people don't like the rule, but that's one of the rule changes I would make to the UFL. I definitely think the UFL has some really good rules, but that's one where I would change. I would not have it be a bad thing if the punt goes out of bounds. And I would also I think the conversion system is very cool, but I think if you want to go for one, just let them kick the extra point. We don't need a scrimmage play for that. But I like the idea of going for 2 points from the 5, and I really like the idea of having a 3-point conversion. I think every football week should have that. Attendance for this week's game between the Showboats and Panthers, 9,674. That's pretty solid. I mean, technically that is the lowest of 3 home games so far for the Panthers, although that is still higher than every home game last season for the Panthers. So, pretty solid, I would still say. Let me see if I can find their highest attendance last season. Hold on one second. Here we go. Attendance Panthers last year. Their most attended game was week 1 where they had 9,444. But yeah, this is still pretty solid attendance for the Panthers. They have a good attendance so far this year, and it continues in this game. I think attendance in the UFL has been pretty good this season, outside of Memphis, that they have just gotten no into their games. Last year, the average attendance for the Panthers was 8,134. So 1st and 10 here for the Showboats. EJ Purry back into the game at quarterback. They continue to alternate quarterbacks. Purry looks to throw, has plenty of time. Purry, underneath, will check down to, that is Cabote for a gain of 6. So 2nd and 4, minute 21 to go in the third quarter. Still a 5-point Panther lead. Purry hands off. No, Purry keeps this up the middle for a first down. They continue to get the quarterbacks involved in the run game, which is a great idea. And EJ Purry dives forward for 5. Got some tempo here from the Showboats. Maybe that can jumpstart the offense a little bit. 1st and 10 from the 36. They'll stack 3 receivers to the right side. And another option here for EJ Purry. This time he's not going anywhere. Frank Ginda takes him down for a loss of 3. And it's 2nd and 13. Ginda, one of the best defensive players in the UFL. Does a really nice job reading this play. So 2nd and 13. Play clock at 3. We'll get the snap off. Purry underneath, that is completed. We got a flag that comes in. But if it stands, it's a solid 7-yard gain. But it will not stand. We got an illegal shift against the Panthers. The completion went to Lasser, but it's not going to count. It's 2nd and 18 after an illegal shift. And that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. So we head to the fourth quarter. The Panthers lead 14-9. A scoreless third quarter for both teams. And we enter the fourth quarter with the Panthers up 5. Although the Showboats with the football have a 2nd and 18. Definitely still anyone's game. Alright, I'm going to go get a tissue real quick. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. I should also try not kicking my tripod when I get up. Alright, I'm back. But we're about to enter the fourth quarter. Panthers up by 5. Showboats backed up deep. Not deep inside their own territory, but backed up on the drive. 2nd and 18. The Showboats defense keeping them in this game. Definitely. Hold on 1 second. Just realized never changed this from quarter 3 to quarter 4. But remember to do that now. So it's a 5-point Panthers lead at the half. Sorry, not at the half. Entering the fourth quarter. So it's a 14-9 game so far. Entering the final quarter. 2nd and 18 here for the Showboats. Curry in shotgun back to his right. Here's a draw play. And Cabote goes nowhere, taken down for a loss of a yard. And it's 3rd and 19 here for the Showboats. Actually, they're going to make it 3rd and 20. 3rd and 20 here for the Showboats. Empty backfield for EJ Perry. Might just throw a screen or something quick. Nope. Instead, Perry's going to take a shot. Down the sideline. It's incomplete. Adams was the receiver, the intended receiver. He had a step, but Perry threw it out of bounds. I don't hate the idea. But your best receiver, give him a chance on 3rd and long. Just doesn't connect. 4th and 20. Another punt here for the Showboats. Malik Turner fields this in the bounce at the 34. Turner on the return. Going to try to reverse the field. And Turner going to stumble and get back up without being touched. And he'll eventually go down to the 34. He should have been touched down back like the 29, but I don't really think the Showboat player knew what he was doing. We got 13:38 to go in the 4th quarter. Panthers still up 14-9. Same score we had at halftime. So we wait for them to come back from commercial. We got a couple of injury updates here for the Showboats. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. Wide receiver Eli Stove and linebacker Zeke Vandenberg have both been ruled out with related head injuries. Hopefully both players are okay moving forward. So we still wait for them to come back from commercial. So far, results in the poll: 67% of you guys have said the Panthers will win. 33% have said the Showboats. Be sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. I also put out a poll in the community tab of my channel, where you guys can be sure to look for polls, updates, anything like that. And on that poll, 64% of you guys said the Panthers, 36% said the Showboats. So pretty similar. So they're back from commercial. 1st and 10 from the 33. Perkins hands off, McCrary up the middle for about 3 yards to start this drive. Bryce Perkins, a great first half, hasn't been as good here in the second. A lot more incompletions. He's got, I think, just 20 passing yards. He was 7 of 10 at the half. Here in the second half, he is 3 for 7. And the Panthers offense definitely hasn't been as good. So 2nd and 6 here from the 36. Perkins hands off here. McCrary left side, and he's going to try to bounce outside. Not going anywhere. Taken down for a loss. And it's 3rd and 7. Nice job there by the Showboats defense. Any WrestleMania predictions? No, I don't have any predictions for that. So 3rd and 7. Empty backfield here for Bryce Perkins. Another opportunity for the Showboats to get off the field. Perkins is going to take a shot way downfield, and that is... Oh, it's caught to the 28-yard line. Sayosi Meriter makes the catch. Huge play for the Panthers offense. A flag is down. What a throw, what a catch, if it stands. Let's see. We got pass interference. It's gonna stand. It's declined. A huge play for the Panthers. What a catch by Mariner. The ball starts to go through his hands, but you have to turn to make sure he doesn't hit the ground. Perkins off play action throws downfield. That's caught. Wide open receiver weaving his way into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. Jalen Moore with the touchdown. Two great plays for the Panthers, and they extend their lead. It is now 20-7. Two great plays for the Panthers, both through the air, and the Panthers extend their lead. Prior to this 1-point attempt here for the Panthers, we got whistles, then hold on. Oh, we got a challenge here by the Showboats. They're challenging an eligible player on the field. That's an interesting one. They're saying an ineligible player was too far downfield when the pass was thrown. Let's see, it looks like the furthest lineman gets to about the 24, which is about 3 yards. The challenge is going to be unsuccessful. He would have had to pass the 24. He was still at the 24. That if that's not the most offensive line coach challenge, I don't know what is. The Showboats now lose a timeout and their challenge. But the Showboats interim head coach is Jim Turner, who's their offensive line coach. And no other coach is challenging that play. It's got to be an offensive line coach. But the challenge is unsuccessful. And the Panthers going to line up here to go for one. Perkins and shotgun back to his right. Remember, receiver across the formation. Handoff Nate McCrary. He's in. 21-9. The Panthers lead the Showboats. The Panthers 3 for 3 on conversions today. And a really nice touchdown drive there for the Panthers. But a great drive for the... Sorry, just punched my mic. A great drive there for the Panthers. 21-9, 11:52 to go in the fourth quarter. The pass to Seosi Mariner, 38 yards and then a 27-yard touchdown to Jalen Moore. It was a 4-play, 67-yard drive. And the Panthers now up 21-9. Isaiah Henney on the return, and he'll get the 35 before he's taken down. So the Showboats get the ball back. It's 21-9. They're down by 12. And it is E.J. Purry into the game at quarterback. He's 5 of 11 for 45 yards and interception. Purry off play action, looks to throw, sets his feet, steps up in the pocket. Purry throws over the middle, that is caught for a big play. To the 44-yard line, nice throw and catch. And a chunk play there for the Showboats. Bryce Perkins now 12 of 19, 158 yards and a touchdown after that last drive for the Panthers. Purry on the option cuts up the middle, and E.J. Purry going to gain 4 on the quarterback run. So 2nd and 6. Purry to throw. Purry steps up in the pocket, swung around. Purry's still on his feet, and he's just going to throw this one away. 3rd and 6. Here for the Showboats. 10:40 to go in this game. The Showboats have still not converted a 3rd down today. They're 0 for 7. This is a 3rd and 6. With 10:16 to go, though prior to this 3rd down, we got play stop for some reason. We got a timeout called. I'm not sure who called the timeout. Oh, it's a medical timeout. So hopefully whoever the injured player is okay. Jonathan Adams, he's had a quiet game. The leader in yards and touchdowns here in the UFL, with just 2 catches for 21 yards today. On 5 targets. 3rd and 6. They're to run this year. Prince is just short of a 1st down. Prince gained 5, needed 6. And 4th and short here. I think we've got to go for it. They will keep the offense out there. I don't really think this is much of a decision. The Showboat's going to call a timeout. I don't really like that. So the Showboats call a timeout with 9:38 to go before this 4th down. He was short by a full yard, or technically 35 inches. That's an inch less than a yard, as they show on the true line measurement. But it's 4th and 1. So 4th and 1, the Showboats will go for it. Gotta get it. Hurry and shotgun back to his right. The Showboats are 3 of 3 on 4th downs this season. Hurry now going to come under center. It's a quarterback sneak, and he didn't get it. Hurry is stuffed. Hurry is short, and the Panthers defense with a big 4th down stop. Yeah, the ruling is the runner is short. Hurry is short by a lot. I don't really like that call. I don't mind quarterback run, but I don't like the sneak right there. It's not like you needed, like, 5 inches. You needed a full yard. I don't really like that. I'd consider running like a read option. Maybe go with something like that where you can run it inside or have Purry keep it, but I don't really like that call of a sneak. But the Showboats turned over on downs. It is Panther football. They win this one 21-9 with 9:28 to go in the 4th quarter. That drive for the Showboats was one of their better drives of the day. 5 plays, 28 yards, which is actually their second longest drive in terms of yards, but just not. Will I commentate the trial? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't really like. I've heard about it. I don't really know a ton about the situation. I don't even know when is it. So 1st and 10 here for the Panthers after their defense forces a turnover on downs. Samson Nakua comes across the formation. Perkins on the option throws this that is completed to tight ends. Got space after the catch. And a nice 14 yards to start this drive midfield for the Panthers. Oh, it's in May? No, it's coming up. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid all that. So from midfield, Perkins will hand off. McCrary bounces outside of the left, now cuts back inside Nate McCrary. A solid 5 yards on first down. So 2nd and 5. Here for the Panthers. From the 45, Perkins hands off. McCrary up the middle, has space, breaks a tackle, and Nate McCrary to the 32-yard line. Another good run. Panthers really running the ball effectively on this drive, or in this game. Panthers 156 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, averaging 5.6 yards a carry. So from the 33, Perkins hands off. Here's Tawa, and Toa Tawa going to gain 4, the 29. So 2nd and 6. Perkins in shotgun back to his right. They just get the snap off. Perkins throws to the outside, and another good catch and run here for the Panthers. Tight end Cole Hikatuni, or Teeny with the catch. And another first down for the Panthers. So 1st and 10. Panthers moving the ball in back-to-back drives. Last drive's through the air, this drive on the ground. From the 14, Perkins in shotgun back to his right. Here's a handoff left side, and not much. So 2nd and 9, 5:45 to go. From the 13, Perkins in shotgun back to his right. Nakua comes in motion. Perkins off play action, throws underneath, that is caught. And that is another touchdown for the Panthers. The catch and run, they'll dump it off the tight end. Jalen Windermeyer with the touchdown as a catch and run. Another touchdown for the Panthers, and that should do it. There's still 5:21 to go, but the Panthers with another touchdown. Now a season high 27 points. They run this play so often. Hand it off inside. Perkins can keep it himself or throw it. It's like every other play. The Panthers run this play. But it's just so hard to defend because there's 3 different options that you have to worry about. Another 1-point attempt here for the Panthers. Oh, look, here's the same exact play. Throw to the end zone, that is incomplete. Picatinny caught it, but was out of bounds. Or sorry, that's Nakua. So it's 27-9. The Panthers lead the Showboats. Nakua looks like he also might have hurt himself on that conversion attempt. Yeah, he only got 1 foot down. So 27-9, the Panthers lead the Showboats. Technically still a 2-score game. So I mean that extra point attempt was actually kind of big because if they got it, then it was a 3-score game. But technically still a 2-score game because you score a touchdown and get a 3-point conversion. Not a good return here for the Showboats to just the 22-yard line. DJ Miller with a big tackle. So 1st and 10 from the 22. Here's EJ Purry actually back in at quarterback. I like that. So 2nd and 7 here for the Showboats. Purry and shotgun back to his left. Here's a handoff. Caboti right side. He'll cut up the middle for a gain of about 3. Actually, can keep getting pushed from the offensive line. Give him about 4. So 3rd and 3. Showboats 0 third down conversions yet today. Purry over the middle. There's finally conversion on 3rd down. It took them 56 minutes, but they finally got a 3rd down conversion. The Showboats move the sticks. 3.5 minutes to go. Showboats still not entirely out of this game. Although they got to stop running the ball. I mean, I wanted them to establish the run. It's just too late now. You got to throw the ball. You got to start trying to get some bigger plays. I mean, you got 3 minutes left. You can get the ball back because the 4th and 12 as the alternative to the onside kick. But you can't be running the ball here. There's just not enough time. Here's a throw to the outside, knocked down, trying to get to D Anderson. But it's 3rd and 9. Levante Taylor with a nice play. Now, the clock continues to run on incompletions in the UFL until it's inside of 2 minutes. I don't really like that rule. I'd prefer to see it stop probably at like 10 minutes of each half. I don't really care if it runs on incompletions in the 1st and 3rd quarter, or even the first 5 minutes of the 2nd and 4th quarter, but I would like to see it stop, especially in the 4th quarter, with inside 10 minutes. Purry looks to throw here. It's a quarterback run, actually. Purry is taken down short of a first down. And let's see if the Showboats try to get off a play before the 2-minute warning. I would, but you might not want to rush this year because it is fourth down. So it's 4th and 3, and no, they're just going to take this 2-minute warning. But 2 minutes left in this game, we reached the 2-minute warning. 27-9. The Panthers lead the Showboats. Still a 2-score game, technically. I'm not going to be easy for any team to come back. But it is a still technically possible. Because, I mean, you look at this. Say you score quick, right? You score in, like, let's say the Showboats, they score in, like, another 3 plays. Let's say that's 45 seconds. You get the 3-point conversion, that just like that, it's a 27-18. You can get the 4th down, the 4th and 12, which is the alternative for the onside kick, which would put the ball at least your own 40. You still have a minute 15, or the 4th and 12 runs the clock. So let's say a minute. Let's say you got. Let's say you got a minute 5 to work with. It's still definitely possible for the Showboats, but it's very unlikely for it to happen, especially with the way their offense is played. To this point, they've got 9 points, 148 total yards. And the only reason they scored a touchdown is because they were gifted the ball on the 20-yard line. So they're going back from commercial. With the standings, the Stallions lead the USFL, but the Panthers tied with them at 2-1. The Stallions have the tiebreaker with the head-to-head win. But I mean, if the Stallions win tomorrow and the Panthers win today, like they looks like they're going to, it's going to be hard for the Roughnecks or Showboats to catch up in the playoff race. Hurry to throw. Throws the outside for Cabody. And Jacob Cabody is... Oh, he got hit right at the marker. Let's see. Wow, first down. They just got it. Cabody just barely has a first down. That was pretty much as close you can get. And they've got the true line measurements. We can see where he actually got, but we haven't seen it yet. Man, that is close. The Panthers, they were going to challenge, but the play's under review anyway. Where's the line measurement? There's not a chip in the ball for no reason. This is the exact reason the UFL has this true line measurement. Why are we not showing it? But they are going to overturn the call. It is going to be Panthers ball as they'll force a turnover on downs. So the Panthers defense with another big stop, and the Panthers going to improve to 3-1. I don't know why they couldn't just show the line measurement, which would have been a lot simpler, but apparently not. But I do think he was just barely short. We had a new quarterback in the game here, Rocky Lombardi. His first professional snaps for. Oh, where did he go? Rocky Lombardi. I want to say Western Kentucky, but I don't think that's right. But it's his first snaps professionally. Let's see. There's a handoff up the middle to. I don't know who that is, but a gain of about 6. Northern Illinois. Okay. Rocky Lombardi was with Northern Illinois. He was with Michigan State from 2017 to 2020, and NIU from 2021 to 2023. Yeah, I don't know where I got Western Kentucky from. 3rd and 2. Here's another handoff to the right side, and that's very close, but it's not going to matter because the game's going to end. That's the final play of the game. But that is going to do it. The Panthers win 27-9. A great performance for the Panthers, especially defensively. Their defense absolutely dominates. Their offense doesn't play their best game, but they run the ball really effectively. Bryce Perkins definitely threw the ball pretty well. I definitely think this pass game could be a little bit better, but overall, a great performance for the Showboats. Great defensive game. Played well offensively, especially on the ground. The Showboats fall to 0-4. They get swept by the Panthers. And the Panthers are now 3-1. And the Showboats fall to 0-4. For the Showboats, I mean, it doesn't technically eliminate them from playoff contention, but it probably does. I mean, they're 0-4. They're definitely not winning the division or the conference, whatever you call it. Because you look at the USFL conference, right? You got the Panthers now 3-1. Then you got the Stallions at 2-1, the Roughnecks at 1-2, and in the Showboats at 0-4. So even best case scenario for Memphis, they're 2 games back of the Roughnecks and the Stallions for the second spot. That's still a lot. 2 games back in 6 weeks. I mean, obviously they would have their chances. They have to play the Stallions twice and the Roughnecks still once, but playoffs are looking really unlikely for the Showboats. Another thing I just thought of, if the chance the Roughnecks upset the Stallions tomorrow, you're talking about a Roughnecks team that has gone from 0-2 to playing their way into the playoff race and would technically have the second playoff spot in the USFL if they win tomorrow because they'd have the head-to-head win over over the Stallions. Now I know it's only week 4, but that's very interesting. We got some big games this week, and I know it's only week 4, but with only a 10-week regular season, it you got to start thinking about the playoffs early. that is something I do hope the UFL does in the future. I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm hoping that the obviously the UFL is successful and they can expand and continue to get bigger and stuff like that, obviously. But they're talking about expansion potentially next year in 2026. I don't know if this is next year, but maybe 1 year in the future when they're at 10 or 12 teams. Add a couple of games because the first few weeks isn't great because the offense is still trying to figure out exactly who they are. The the teams aren't great offensively. Make the season like 12 games. And if you have enough teams, say you're at 10 teams and you add 2 in 2026. I don't know if the players would agree to this to play a couple extra games. Obviously you'd have to pay them more, which that's been a whole big thing. But that's besides the point for now. But maybe uh what am I looking for? Make the season longer to 13 weeks. And if you have 10 teams, you can have a bye week for each team as well. So each team would play 12 games, and if you have 10 teams, you put two teams on a bye week, and you still have 4 games, which is what you'd have now. I think that could be a pretty good idea. I'm sure there's something I'm missing with how all the games add up. Maybe not though. I think that could be a good idea though. The Hopefully that's something they do in the future. I just think it needs to be a little bit longer. I'm not saying you need to play 18 weeks like the NFL does. But maybe if you go to a 12, 13 week regular season, if you go 13 weeks, maybe add a bye. If not 12 games in 12 weeks, I mean, that is kind of tough. That is what the teams who play for a championship do. But I think that could be good moving forward. I feel like I was just going to say something else as well. Oh, that's what I was saying about paying the players. Yeah, earlier today I saw this. The Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It's been a big dispute between the UFL and the Players Association not being able to agree to a deal. The players, they want either more pay or more pay or year-round healthcare. And the UFL and the Players Union have reached an agreement on the CBA that will give the players a raise and access to year-round healthcare. Now, it's not official yet. They still got a few things, but an agreement's in place. And they should be able to get an agreement moving forward. Something to note, too, that's also 2 years. Not only is the deal for this year, but it's for next year as well. So that definitely shows that the UFL is committed to the future. I mean, I definitely think they'll be back next year. They've been successful. The numbers, I think, can definitely be better attendance-wise and TV ratings-wise. But the TV ratings were good last week, especially the Defenders and Battlehawks game. And that was going up against the Masters as well. So I definitely think the UFL has a place to stay. It's going to be successful. It's only going to continue to grow. But yeah, that was exciting to see. Because there was obviously rumors of a strike before the season started. But obviously that didn't happen. Everyone's playing without a problem. But now the players got what they wanted. They got an agreement, not only this year, but next year as well. But the Panthers beat the Showboats 27-9. They improved to 3-1. The Showboats fall to 0-4. That's going to do it for the stream, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. Got a lot of content coming this week between the UFL like usual and the NFL draft. Gonna do some mock drafts. I'm gonna be streaming Thursday for the draft and reacting to every pick live, just like I did for this game. I stream every Friday for the UFL. But that's gonna do it for this stream, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you guys in the next video.